As many of you are aware by now, the Hungering Blade nerf caused a lot of stuff to break in the game, mostly stuff related to health regen perks. So, in a very odd change of events, they've actually started talking about the changes that they are going to do to fix this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read through the post, and I'm going to end up saying why this is kind of a good thing that they're doing this. Josh Hamrick talked during this paragraph here about some of the changes and concerns about Hungering Blade and how it could affect some of the other stuff. And then in this paragraph, he talks kind of about the justification that went along with that particular nerf, and it does make sense. They also go on in the next little section right here to talk about the actual changes that they're going to revert or maybe kind of tweak a little bit. For each of the elements below, we are going to keep the change, but buff the amount of health you get back. For Hungering Blade, it will get a 58% regen buff, as well as Red Death, Lifesteal, Transfusion, and Cauterize. Both Transfusion and Cauterize will have their cooldowns removed. For all the rest, they will be reverting the change entirely, meaning that Service Regime, No Backup Plans, Word of Dawn, Apotheosis Veil, Embrace the Void, all of these things will cause your health to regen like it normally did before the Hungering Blade nerf snafu. Now, this whole explanation is really good. Main reason, this is one of the first times that we've ever had kind of a follow-up so close to kind of the initial backlash from the community or just the initial changes. As many of you guys probably know, you cannot have a PTR on consoles. Well, a PTR means a public test realm, where you would be able to play kind of an advanced version of the patch. It's possible on consoles, but it's kind of expensive to put out. You basically have to have an entirely new version of the game. If you guys are aware what the 7th column program is that Bungie will occasionally do, it's where like a select few members from Bungie, members of the community, will be able to play content that's coming, like they were able to play Taken King, and I think they were able to play Rise of Iron as well, before they actually came out, to kind of give, to test it, basically. Well, we can't really get that for the actual live game. It's far too expensive, and it's a hell of a lot of upkeep on Bungie's end. Not that I'm making excuses for it. It would be fucking great if we can get that. But this type of feedback that we're getting from the developers, Josh Hamrick namely, right here, is really nice to see. Because now we have an idea of the changes that they're thinking about. Of course, they also say that we do not have a date of when these changes will actually take place, but they're currently working on them and conducting tests. So this is something really, really nice to see. As you guys know, Overwatch, yes, they do have a PTR, but they also have a very active dev community in that they are constantly talking with the community that plays their game. They'll say, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. And just right here, we basically get that. This is what we are thinking about doing to all of these perks. And these numbers also may change. They make it very clear that this type of stuff is just stuff they're thinking about. Bungie, as someone who plays your game, not as a content creator, not as a YouTube guy, not as that, but just as someone that plays their game and is very active in the updates and everything else, this is the type of stuff that I personally like to see. It allows you to, be more active within the community talking about the changes. Like, every time I go stream, ever since this little update has gone out, Red Death has been the big topic of discussion. The nerf to Hungering Blade really hurt Red Death. It's an archetype of pulse rifle that in PvP just doesn't really work that well. And the perk itself was really its only saving grace. Now what they're thinking about doing is, or at least you guys have said, you're going to get back 58% of the health that you currently get, whatever the change actually is, but it's currently not being thought about to be completely reverted entirely like Soros Regime is. Personally, I feel like this is something that the community can easily get behind and say, hey, Red Death should be like Soros Regime. It should absolutely regen your health. It's not in a very powerful archetype, and while yes, this change, we don't know what else is coming with the patch, so maybe that's why this balance right here, that's why you're not considering it to be fully reverted. But still, this is something that we can kind of voice our opinion about. Red Death absolutely should start your health regeneration like it normally did. It should be reverted. So if we can get more stuff like this, Bungie, where you guys are talking about the changes that you're thinking about doing. Even, I mean, you guys make it very clear these numbers may change. We don't have a selected date. It's very clear that this is a work in progress. You've made that very clear. It would be really great if we could continue this type of discussion, because now we have a back and forth instead of a, what Bungie normally does is just says, hey, what do you guys want changed about primaries? And then you get a flood of information and then no actual follow-up to that. Had we seen that, we might have been able to talk about the special ammo nerf and realize maybe it would cause everyone to use sidearms in the Crucible, like we're currently seeing. This is all speaking in hindsight, of course. But this type of stuff, this right here, is what we need more of from the Bungie side in response to the community's concerns. This would be really great to see. If you guys agree in the comments section, please, let Bungie know. Don't post in the comments section. Go to Bungie.net. Post in the forums that this is the type of stuff that you like to see. Go to this post here and say this is the type of stuff that you would like to see. Respond. Start talking about the changes that you want to see. When Bungie and all the developers will usually ask, hey, what do you want changed in the game? What is your concerns? Don't say this sucks, this is broken, this, is overpowered. Be specific with your changes. If you think Red Death currently needs to be like Soros Regime and have its change reverted, say Red Death needs to have its change reverted. Red Death should absolutely regenerate your health, not a chunk of health, like you guys are proposing for it. And then list reasons. Do this for everything. This will make the conversation back and forth between the developers and the community so much better. And then Bungie, keep doing stuff like this. It will make the community so much happier. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.